Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Daily High with your host, Matt McGregor, Tone Vase, Doug, and Satoshi. What's going on, boys? Look at you guys.
Satoshi.
That is Satoshi.
Satoshi.
Yeah, because he's a
Sumimasen.
Pomsky.
He's a half
Good looking.
Pomeranian and half Husky.
See what I did there?
I'm with
Satoshi.
very good looking dog. That's a good
You can
looking
follow
coach.
him. You can follow him on Instagram. Satoshi Dog.
Yep.
Well,
Happy Beatles.
the market's done nothing. So I just said to Tone before we started the show, man, is it even worth doing a show today? But we're contractually obligated to work. So let's get through this. No, that's just a joke. I think that there's not much to say, unfortunately. I mean, the market did drop a little last night, and it's kind of got back to relatively where it was the last night in the show. So I'll quickly go through my charts. I didn't even do it last night, so I
Yeah,
feel
go for it.
I feel like I should probably have a crack. Give you 1 second. Oh, sorry, I haven't. This is the first time I've ever done this. I've loaded the wrong thing. After 112 shows, you'd think I would be better at that. All right, cool.
There
So
you go.
this is the interesting part. Have you seen Flecker's Talks, by the way? Have you watched Flecker's Talks, the YouTube show?
No. What is it?
There's, there's probably a heap of people watching right now that are big fans of Flecker's Talks. This is my favorite podcast. These boys are awesome. Big MAGA guys, and they're right wing guys, but it's a comedy show. It's a very, very, very good YouTube show. All right. So right now, the 4 hour time frame. Look at this is really, really clear to see here. And I know it's a bit hindsight talking, but every breakout we've tried to have has been stopped by at least one of these moving averages. That great crack on we had was held up by the 50. And then we've done the typical thing that we tend to do is just get rejected by the 30, the 50 once again. It's getting hunted at all of the key moving averages in my point and keep getting shut down, putting in lower lows. What does that mean? It just means the market's weak. Okay. But the bottom hasn't fallen out yet. That's the saving grace in this situation, that it hasn't fallen out. So unfortunately, I'm going to repeat the same thing I've been saying all week. There was a few. I really like the negative comments in the box because they tend to make me laugh and think a lot more. I love the positive comments for people loving the show, but when it's usually the same people having a crack at me every time, and I don't know, I tend to take a lot from it. Somebody says like Matt's voice sounds he's saying he's bullish, but you can hear like the concern in his voice last night, and I think that's a fair enough comment. I am concerned that the price is going to go lower because I don't like the price going lower. I mean, that's a very selfish thing to say, but I'm very, very, very invested in Bitcoin. So I want the price to go higher. It doesn't mean that I can't trade it or anything, but I want the price to go higher. I mean, I'm guilty of that. I'm absolutely guilty of that. So it was a fair comment. We're looking at the daily time frame right now. Once again, if you took alphanumerics off for a second, alphanumerics looks terrible. Granted, the MRI count is bad. The bearish cross came in here on the daily time frame. We're below three key moving averages, making our way down to MRI support and resistance zone, the 200 simple moving average, which would be a double bottom pattern, which it wouldn't save me here because it's about exactly the same as the low we put in. It looks like we're primed for a lower low. But if you took away alphanumerics for a second, which I don't normally do, and you took away the MRI for a second, well, it's just range bound, really. I just used this rainbow for a second, but I mean, it's just range bound. It's nothing really to write home about. We're just stuck in a range and it's consolidating at the top. It could easily turn around at any moment. I'm still very, very, positive that as long as we stay above this zone right here, we're just range bound. So it's not that bad. And that was the point I was trying to make last night, where I was feigning some kind of bullish momentum in the market, which the price is not really showing, but it's not that bad. It's sort of the middle lower half of the middle of the range. The oscillators are getting very, very low. This is the EXA on the daily time frame. Yeah, we get this low from time to time. I'd like to have a look at the charts on what these prices looked like right here and here, but we're starting to get to that very low mark. Let's have a look. The last time we got to -3.5 here. What did the price look like at -3.5? during that large consolidation that we had, that eight-month consolidation that we had, that was the terrible point, and that got the EXA very, very low. Well, we're kind of back in that zone now. It's what we've been talking about, the long consolidation here. It's not that bad. I want to pump up that to the weekly and see how far we are on these oscillators on the weekly time frame. Where's like some of the really low points we've gotten to in the past? I'm doing this in real time here, guys, so give me a chance. Yep, that crash that we had in between the two highest, the highest high we'd ever had to the second highest high we ever had. We got a really low EXA, but the RSI and that were fine. No, not too much here. Not too much here. It's not that bad. It could go a hell of a lot lower, to be fair. Well, the weekly again, we did come back. You know, we did. As a candle, the candle has recovered now. We did open the candle higher than the 7 simple moving average, but we are well and truly below it right now. I'm not that concerned yet, but it's not great. I'm still looking at the 30 simple moving average here at 75,200. I really don't want this Copic curve to come under the zero line, as I mentioned on Monday. Not great. All right, Tone. I'm going to just go to the. There's not even anything to look at. 1 hour time frame here. We got anything to hold on to? It's just trending. It's just trending and trending lower each time. Even the 1 hour here, it's not fantastic. But we start breaking these lines and we'll be a different story. I'm coming back right now, Tone. So get ready for that. Please like and subscribe. Please share it with your friends. Please use the affiliate links in the discount group below. And please listen to Tone's side of this story. Because have you got anything for me, Tone, other than just a trending market that's weak overall, but not the end of the world? You've got no sound there, brother.
Forgot I was muted. Yeah, so the weekly chart, not that interesting right now. Yes, it's sitting on a moving average. We're halfway through the week. Today is not a stock market trading day. I believe the futures markets are probably trading, but there's not going to be any volume on there.
Why is that? What's that? Why is there no trading today?
It's a new made-up holiday as of I don't know, about 3 years ago, the United States added an additional holiday. It's called
I didn't know.
Juneteenth. And I think it's to celebrate the end of slavery. And no one's really sure what it is, but it's another holiday. Kids are off from school. Markets aren't trading. It's a day off in the middle of the week on a Wednesday, which is like the worst day to have your holiday on. I don't know. It's just nonsense that
Right.
the government put in.
Thank you.
Anyway, so the 4-day chart, the allocation chart, is literally on its last leg. I know I said yesterday that if we don't start recovering and going up today, I would lower my allocation. I haven't done that yet. I'm giving it 24 hours. We're like in overtime right now. If this candle is sitting exactly where it is tomorrow, I am significantly lowering my allocation. If this candle makes a new low today, I'm lowering my allocation. So I'm giving it 24 more hours to decide what I'm doing. The daily chart is the one chart that gives me hope, right? This is we did hold the 128-day moving average. Today's candle is a doji reversal candle holding the 128-day moving average. Tomorrow, this moving average significantly rises. And I still have this feeling that we are going to reverse and that the low is in. As discussed on the show yesterday with Mark Wood, I provided and we discussed 4 possibilities. The 4 possibilities for Bitcoin are: we reverse right here, right now, and the price was a little bit higher, and then it dipped down right after our show. And I said, okay, the 4 possibilities are: the price of Bitcoin reverses in the next 24 hours and marks the low. The next is the price falls to the $61,000 range approximately and reverses from 61,000. That's where my MRI support line is. Matt, you said it a few minutes ago, as long as we stay above the prior swing low. So there is support right here between 61,000 and 62,000. That's level 2. Level 3 is falling into the vicinity of prior lower lows. Now we're talking the 200-day moving average, the prior swing low, somewhere in this 56 to 58 range. And then the final possibility is going lower than 58, and there is absolutely no support below 58 on this is the 58 here, and now we're going all the way into the $40,000 range. There's very little support there. So out of the 4 possibilities, if you equally rate them, each one has a 25% chance of happening. The way I rate mine is I give the highest probability of success the reversal right here, right now. So out of the 4 things I just mentioned, the low already being in I give that the highest probability, maybe 30%, maybe 33%, maybe 30 as high as 35%, that this low is now here to stay. My second highest probability is that 61,000 is not going to hold the price. And we're going all the way to the 200-day moving average, something in the upper 50s. That's my second highest probability. And my third highest probability is that 61,000 will hold. And my least likely probability, for obvious reasons, is going below 50,000, maybe even as low as 40, and creating ugly old goats possibility true at 39,000. I give that 10 to 15%. So I don't rate these 4 things evenly. So because I don't rate these 4 things evenly, I believe that we are probably bottomed. And if we end up breaking this low, I'm not expecting 61,000 to hold. I think we're going into the 50s.
That was fantastic. I I happen to agree with that completely. Maybe I didn't think of it, but as you say it, I'm like, yeah, that really rings true. And the only thing I can say is when you said that there's nothing below, once we start to get below the 200 simple moving average on the daily time frame, when there's nothing below, that's when you can start entertaining the 3-day green diamonds, the weekly green diamonds on Alpha Numerics, to start to look for the absolute screamer buys that come in once every 3 years, which would be absolutely fantastic. But I don't think that's very likely either, to be honest, in these conditions. But that goes back to the point I said in those comments last night, like, oh, Matt's a perma bull. Well, I mean, the further we drop, the more likely I am to buy more at this point, as well. So, like, it's kind of shocking because I've been through 4 bull markets now. The lower we get, it's a better opportunity there is when you're macro bullish.
Right. So I got some more good news for people. We did have an hourly MRI buy opportunity a couple of hours before we made the low, which is great. Now, here's some more good news. We established a brand new MRI resistance line on the hourly chart, which is identical to the prior swing high. We just made a lower swing high a few hours ago, but we are super close to it. The good news is that I even said it on yesterday's show before the MRI buy came in, and before we even had this MRI resistance line. I said if Bitcoin breaks 66,000 right here at 65,800, if we break 66,000, we will also break the long-term moving average on the hourly chart, which I believe is the 200 hours. Actually, I'm not sure which one it is because it's
50. It looks like a 50.
It could be the 50. It's but anyway, it's okay. Whatever moving average I have right here, I like it. We broke it, but we didn't hold it, and we never closed the full candle above it, like we did over here. The thing is, I don't need us to break this triple high situation. I just need us to break this one, because breaking the one at 66,000 also gets us above all the moving averages. So far, we're looking good for that, and we're allowing the moving averages to come down even further. So there is hope. If we continue to consolidate here with a slight bullish bias, Thursday's market could really help push us over the edge. So far, as we're progressing throughout the cycle, everything looks good. The stock market is closed. I want to point out to one thing Mark and I talked about at the end of our 1.5 hour stream yesterday. And let me see if the futures markets are open today. Yeah, the futures markets are open, like they are generally open on holidays. That's weird. Yeah, why does it say June 20th? Isn't today June 19th? What am I missing here?
It's the 19th. That's tomorrow's future open, is it?
Ah, okay, so they're skipping. Hey, look at this. Tuesday the 8th. That's trading view screw up. Right, this candle is the 18th, and this candle is the 20th. So somehow the 19th got eliminated, and we are a day into the future, which is really weird. This is really the 19th candle, but anyway, I'm not going to get into the details
Yeah,
of the
right.
features as to why it kind of messed up like that, which is kind of very, very strange. But the futures markets are open. So the one thing I want to point out is Nvidia, and we're going to leave it with Nvidia. It's now Nvidia is closed today. It's not trading. We're going to open Nvidia, so check this out, Matt.
Yeah.
The daily chart on Nvidia is on a 5. Okay? That means there is an MRI top that is very likely to come in next week. Okay? Now, if you look at the weekly chart, next week is also the weekly MRI top.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So you're likely to have a daily MRI top next week, which next week is the last week of June. It'll start on Monday the 24th. So the last week of June is going to be the weekly MRI top with 7 days to go. June only has 30 days. Okay. So the 5 trading days are going to be like the Friday is going to be June 29th. And not only is next week going to be a weekly MRI top at Nvidia after a massive run up, next month begins the MRI top month.
Mm.
So you will literally have a daily MRI top in line with a weekly MRI top, in line with a monthly MRI top. And I believe even if I go for a 2-month chart, two-month is on an MRI top right now, and this is the
Awesome.
month that's ending. So you have an absolute crazy situation. If I go further, I wouldn't even go further on our chart, 3-month chart. 3 months still has room, but that's okay. These are, I'm just curious. And 6-month has a lot of room, and the annual chart has a lot of room. It's just getting started, but this is nuts. Okay.
That's incredible, Tone. And let's talk about that a lot when it comes up. I just
Next
think
week,
about,
remind me.
yeah, definitely. I'll write it in my book here. When I think about Nvidia, it's so funny because I remember 12 months ago listening to like Fast Money and stuff like that on, ESPN and all them American talk shows. I was working and driving a lot, so I was listening to a lot of like just whatever I could get my hands on. And every single analyst has said it was oversold 12 months ago. 12
Right.
months ago. Every single one said I wouldn't touch it with a 10-foot pole.
So
It's completely
what do you think they're gonna say
overbought. Sorry.
next week? I actually think I'm gonna short Nvidia because look, I don't want to praise the MRI too much, but look, we had an MRI top monthly.
It's only Tony, it's only $135. It's cheap.
Right. So there was an MRI top that led right into an MRI bottom and a 65% correction. Then off the MRI bottom into an MRI top was a 300% rise. Then the last MRI top didn't lead to an MRI buy, but it was a 1 to 4 candle correction, and it wasn't that minor. Off that candle, that was a 20% drop. And now we had the mother of all run-ups off the green star candle. And the higher it goes between now and the end of the month, the more eager I am to take a massive short position.
But you're contradicting yourself. You can't short Nvidia and long the S&P. You just can't.
Actually, I can. In
Come on.
fact, longing the S&P while shorting Nvidia hedges my short Nvidia position. So,
One of them,
uh,
one of them's going to be wrong. Equally weighted, wrong.
well, but they're not going to be equal, right? Like one hedges the other. If you have two assets, right? This is actually a very common trade. When you have something that is grossly underperforming versus something else that is overperforming, you short the overperformer and you long the underperformer because now if the market turns and they both go down, the one that was the high flyer is going to go down faster. And if they both don't go down, the one that's been lagging has a chance to catch up. So you actually make money as they get closer to each other.
It's awesome. It's awesome.
But I am gonna probably take a speculative, like it's not gonna be crazy leverage. I'm not gonna put my whole life savings into a short on Nvidia, but the the opportunity to make a trade on a daily, weekly, and monthly MRI confluence, it happens on one asset once a month at
Mm.
most. And you have to find that asset, right? This is where the MRI notification service comes in. But finding that rare asset, and then happening on the biggest stock we ever had. I mean, this is a
Yeah.
once in a decade chance to, well, like there will never be another top on Nvidia like this.
No, they won't. And I'm just looking at alphanumerics. My red diamonds, we've had 2 monthly red diamonds on this run up. Yours are on, it's probably still on reversed, by the way, but we've had 2 on the way up, and a monthly red diamonds on the way up. It's just gone blow off top territory. You might be right, Tone.
But yeah, I am gonna try to time this short. Hopefully, it doesn't start crashing on Monday. Hopefully, by Friday, it's even higher. I don't like the fact that the monthly is not a reversal candle, but that's okay. Uh, it has reversed twice on monthly scales without a reversal candle. Literally closed at the very top on uh, the month before the MRI top, and the MRI top month dragged it down. So I will be looking for that. And there's still a possibility for a double consecutive daily MRI top. So, and still falls within the weekly spec. But man, like on Thursday or Friday, I'm good to go. If Nvidia is breaking $140 going into Thursday, I'm probably gonna line up an option spread short position on Nvidia.
I'm writing this down. We're going to review it next week.
All right.
Awesome.
All right. On this note, time to wrap it up.
Thanks, mate.
Let me go off screen share. There you
Great show. Great show. All right, mate. Please, for everyone watching, please like and subscribe. Please share it with your friends. Please use the affiliate links in the discount group below. Join the Discord group. We're doing beta testing on bots right now, and it's all coming together. Tone, everybody, we'll see you tomorrow. Let's hope Nvidia gets over 140. Let's hope it goes to 160. Blows off the top. When all the news comes out that it's now the biggest company the world's ever seen, and Tone's shorting it, it's interesting.
go. Later, guys.